Chapter 1: The Fugitive. The neon lights of the rusty nebula, a grimy spaceport bar on the edge of Terran-controlled space, flickered erratically. The air smelled of cheap synthale and engine grease. Captain Elias Vance sat in the corner, nursing a whiskey, real Earth whiskey, not the synthetic swill most places served. His ship, the Ironclad, was docked nearby, and he was between jobs. Then the door hissed open. Every head in the bar turned. A woman stood in the entrance, her breath ragged, her violet eyes wide with fear. She was Xalani, tall, slender, with iridescent silver skin that marked her as one of the galaxy's most elegant species. But right now, elegance was the last thing on her mind. She was bleeding. A deep gash ran across her arm, her once pristine robes torn and scorched. The bar's patrons, mercenaries, smugglers, and bounty hunters, gripped their weapons. The Xalani were rare this far out, and a wounded one. That meant trouble. Her gaze locked onto Elias. "Human," she gasped, stumbling toward him. "Please help me." Elias sighed. This was going to be a problem. Chapter 2: The Bounty. Her name was Lysara Vey, and she was the most wanted being in the galaxy. Elias had heard the rumors. The Xalani Empire had placed a 10 million credit bounty on her head, dead or alive. The Galactic Syndicate wanted her for crimes against the cosmos. Even the ruthless Vorthax pirates had sworn to tear apart any ship harboring her. And now she was sitting across from him in the Ironclad's mess hall, trembling as his medic, Doc Harris, stitched her wound. "Why me?" Elias asked, arms crossed. "You could have gone to any mercenary, any bounty hunter with enough firepower to hide you." Lysara's voice was barely a whisper. "Because they would have sold me out. But humans, they're different." Elias raised an eyebrow. "How so?" She met his gaze. "You don't bow to the Syndicate. You don't fear the Xalani Empire. And when the galaxy pushes you, you push back, harder." A slow grin spread across Elias's face. She had a point. Chapter 3: The Chase Begins. They weren't even out of the system before the first hunters found them. A Syndicate gunship, sleek and black, dropped out of warp right in front of the Ironclad. A voice crackled over the comms. "Surrender the fugitive, or be destroyed." Elias cracked his knuckles. "Doc, get Lysara to the escape pod. Jax, power up the railguns." His crew moved fast. The Ironclad wasn't a warship, but Elias had upgraded her defenses himself. When the Syndicate ship fired, the Ironclad's shields held, barely. "Return fire," Elias barked. Jax, his gunnery chief, unleashed a volley of magnetized slugs. The Syndicate ship's shields flared, then failed. A second later, its engines exploded in a brilliant fireball. Lysara stared at the view screen in shock. You just destroyed a Syndicate vessel." Elias smirked. "First time." Chapter 4: The Truth. As they fled deeper into uncharted space, Lysara finally told him why she was running. "The Xalani Empire is dying," she admitted. "Our sun is going supernova. The High Council planned to evacuate only the elite, leaving billions to die. I stole the Exodus codes, the only way to activate the emergency warp gates for the entire population." Elias whistled. "So you're not just a fugitive. You're a revolutionary." She nodded. "And now the entire galaxy wants me dead before I can release the codes." Elias leaned back in his chair. "So why come to a human? Why not the Galactic Senate? The free colonies?" Lysara's eyes burned with determination. "Because no one else would dare stand against the Xalani Empire. But humans, You've been defying tyrants since the first day you crawled out of your gravity well. Elias couldn't argue with that. Chapter 5. The Final Stand. They reached the hidden Xalani relay station, the last place Lysara could broadcast the Exodus codes. But the Syndicate, the Empire, and the Vorthax had all converged to stop them. The Ironclad was outnumbered 10-1. "This is suicide," Jax muttered. Elias checked his sidearm. "Then let's make it count." The battle was brutal. The Ironclad's hull groaned under the barrage. Shields failed. Weapons overheated. But Elias had one last trick. "Lysara, get those codes out. Doc, prep the FTL core for overload." She stared at him. "You're going to blow up the ship." He grinned. "Nah, just the core. But it'll make one hell of a distraction." As Lysara transmitted the codes, Elias ejected the FTL core, right into the middle of the enemy fleet. The resulting explosion lit up the void like a miniature supernova. When the dust settled, the Ironclad was crippled but alive. And across the galaxy, billions of Xalani warp gates activated. Epilogue. A new legend. 1 month later, Elias stood on the bridge of a new ship, a gift from the liberated Xalani people. Lysara, now their leader, smiled at him. "You could stay," she offered. "Be a hero." Elias chuckled. "Nah, heroes get statues. I'd rather get paid." But as he warped away, he knew one thing for certain. The galaxy would never underestimate a human again.